Nah, cause she pulled a gun on me today. So, y'all remember the cashier I was telling y'all about the other day? You know, the one that said that she don't need no love. Let's call her No Love Lisa, right? So, I went into the store today, but let me tell y'all about what happened yesterday, because I went in yesterday too. So I went into the store yesterday. It was just a cool, calm day, whatever. She usually work like kind of early morning shifts, and that's usually when I go in there. Now, it was really nobody else in the store. It was her, working by herself. And I walked in, and it might have been like one other customer, but the other customer was like way in the back, chilling, like not even really paying attention to anything. They was like on the slot machines. This one of them hood stores where they got the slot machines inside the goddamn gas station. That's an important detail. The fact there wasn't nobody else in there, that's an important detail. So, it was just a normal thing. I come in, do my normal spiel, she mean mugging, but at the same time, I can see she crack a smile every now and then. It's almost like, you know what I'm saying? Like one of those people that don't like to smile or don't smile often, when they realize they smile and they kind of try to, hurry up and straighten their face back out. So, I was getting her to crack a few smiles. She was kind of, chuckling a little bit. It was a cool, transaction. Nothing special about yesterday happened, other than the fact that, before I left, she was kind of like, being funny with me. And she's like, you know what, I'm done with you. I'm finna go back to work. And so she came from around the counter, was about to go do some inventory or do some boxes or something. And before, as she was passing me, I was like, man, give me a hug. And she was like, she was doing that thing. You know how, people play, give me a hug. And she was like, no, get up off me. I don't even do that. But she was smiling with it. She was laughing with me as I was doing it. I was just kind of messing with it, trying to hug her or whatever. And she pushed me off or whatever. But she was laughing. It was cool. So I'm like, all right, cool. We built a little rapport. I'm kind of getting through to her a little bit. I know I'm cracking her shield. I know I'm cracking it. So after that, I walked out. I was like, have a good day, love. She was like, you too. All right, bet. Cool. Good day. Fast forward to the day, right? I go in today around about the same time. And I do my same spiel. I come in, I just mess with her a little bit. Today, there was a lot more people in the store. Again, important detail. So, I go up to the counter, and she like, is it all you need? I'm like, all right, here she goes. She with the rough stuff today. All right, No Love Lisa with it today. And maybe she's just having a bad day or a bad start to her shift. I don't know. I'm like, y'all talking my little shit or whatever. I'm like, don't be talking to me all fast. I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to. Like, she snapped immediately. I was like, okay, so it's one of them days today. So she snapped immediately. But this, when people do this to me, that don't faze me. I see right through all of that shit. It don't faze me. I don't care about you snapping. I know what it is. It's a tactic. So it's like, okay, bet you just trying to, get me off you. So I bet. And like I said, I always come in like an easier way. I don't get aggressive with it when I say stuff like that. When I say, don't be talking to me all fast. Like I say in a very playful, very joking way. She, like I said, she snapped about it. So I'm trying to get, my stuff rung up or whatever. She's like, what else? Is all you need? Give me that. So I'm like, all right, bet. I get like a Kit Kat and some coffee or whatever. And she was like, I don't want to hear all that, because I done dealt with too many people today. I don't know who you deal with, what you be doing, but I'm tired. People keep coming in here and messing with me, and I completely understand. I ain't even gonna lie, I completely understand it. In this area, you get a lot of crazies up in that motherfucking store. I completely know it. I get it a whole 100%. So I can understand why, she might be a little more agitated on certain days, because some of them people be doing the most up in there. So I was like, all right, whatever. I'm like, I go get my coffee, whatever. After she snapped, before she rolled me up, she was like, I'll just walk off. I just won't serve you. And then she walked off. I said, all right, bet. She walked off, and she went right next to the cashier booth. It's kind of blocked in, it's kind of glassed in, in a box. And she walked out the door and walked over to the side. Right next to the cashier box is a kind of like a kitchen, because they sell chicken and stuff like that and hot dogs or whatever. And it's kind of think of how a deli is set up, where it got that display case, that little rounded display case, and it kind of stopped to about your chin, but you can kind of see over the counter and see all of the kitchen, kind of. So she went over to that side and kind of hid over there, and I walked right. I took my right behind the counter. Shit, I don't care. I walked right behind the goddamn counter, right back there to the kitchen, and she looked at me like she was surprised. She's like, "You can't be back here." I said, "Can I get your assistance, please? I'm trying to pay for my things so I can go ahead and go. Can I get your assistance?" Just like that. So you ain't even supposed to get up. And as soon as when I walked up there and I'm like, can I get your assistance? She's like, nah, you can't even be back here. She pulls her gun out, right? She pulled her gun out. She was crazy to me. She pulled her gun out. She's like, nah, because I'll pop you. I ain't gonna lie. I'm tired of everybody be messing with me. Like, she didn't aim it at me, but she popped it. She pulled it out like she wanted to scare me, right? I ain't gonna lie, that gun was fire. It was like a pink and gray, like it had like the pink bottom and like that metallic gray top. That bit was hard. Obviously a 9mm, definitely. It looked like one that I had. Actually looked like the exact one I had. Mine wasn't pink. But anyway, it was nice. I had a gun, I ain't gonna lie. So she pulled it, she pulled it, but as she pulled it out her waistband, I don't know what the fuck. It was like the gun spawned out. It was like a GTA character. She just pulled that bit. So she walking over to the back to the cashier box so she can go ahead and ring me up. She, rah-rahing. And I'm like, it don't even take all that. It ain't even all that serious. She's like, nah, because everybody be coming in here, y'all don't believe it, like y'all don't think. And I understand, like I can see, like she just was real upset. It just probably was one of them days, and I ain't gonna lie, I might have just poked a little bit too much, but I ain't never been afraid to poke the bear. But I get it, right? So she put the gun on the counter, she turned around, she trying to scan all my stuff. I was like, damn, that motherfucker hard. I was like, that gun hard. I was like, but you think you the only person that pulled a gun on me before? Like, I'm not worried about none of that. I said, baby, I still love you. She's like, I don't want to hear none of that. I don't need none of that. All I need is, I don't need no love. All I need is God, is love from God. I said, exactly. So you do need love. She's like, I don't want to hear all that. I said, okay then. So that's why you need love the most. Because you think you don't need it. Nah. All I need is God love. And I was like, all right, bet. So, it was just like a weird, like, I guess like energy after that. Like when she pulled it and then she sat on the counter and then she was telling me all that stuff. She run me up, I go over there to get my coffee, but I kind of just walked past. She went back over to her little section where she went and hid the first time. But I kind of walked, as my coffee being made, I kind of walked back and forth past the counter, kind of just glimpsing at her. And she was looking at me, and I could tell she didn't really, like, she wasn't gonna shoot me. She wasn't gonna pull it. She wasn't gonna do it. And I knew that. She just wanted to scare me off because maybe she just was afraid and just agitated, really. Just was probably just had a bad day or whatever. And, I kind of like, because me, I ain't gonna lie, don't be like me, y'all, because I'll play a little bit more. I picked up some other stuff. I'm like, how much this is? Like, because I wanted you to know that I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of the fact that you pulled a gun on me. I'm not afraid of none of that. That don't scare me. It's cool. Like, I get it. But at the same time, I knew, okay, let me just leave her alone. Though. Like, I guess she just was a little agitated. Not that I felt like she was actually gonna shoot me, just because that's not my intention. I don't want to. I don't bully nobody. I don't want to make you feel like I'm just trying to agitate and keep poking and keep pushing, because I understand that everybody got a limit. But it just was in that moment. Like I just first of all, I don't got no fear in me. So it don't matter, and I wanted you to know, and I want you to know that most of the times. I want you to know I'm not afraid of you. I don't give a fuck what it is. But at the same time, I still want to be, in a loving way. But overall, y'all, yesterday was great. So I thought, coming in today was gonna be just another smooth day. Like, but sometimes, it every day ain't gonna be the same. And this journey is not for the faint of heart, And sometimes, everybody got a limit. Even if you can just tell, like her reluctance to that kind of energy is just so deeply rooted. And so maybe my lesson in this is just to know that, not everybody is going to change. Some people are just so far gone, or so afraid, or just so guarded that they don't want to. They don't want to change. They don't want, and it don't matter how much love you give them, or how much you're nice to them, or how much sometimes it don't matter. Sometimes it don't matter, and that's okay. But at the same time, I know that she's still gonna have to take some away from that. You know what I mean? I can see it in her eyes. Like, she didn't really want to pull that shit out of me. But like I said, there was other people in that